my dears, and welcome back to my corner of the internet. I'm Shannon. This guy back here, that's Bernard. Bernard is my October co-host. He doesn't say a whole lot, but he's happy to be here. And you're just gonna have to take my word for it. Anyway, today I've got a review to share with you guys. A couple of weeks ago, week and a half ago, something like that, I picked up a bottle of the CoverGirl TruBlend Matte Made Foundation. I showed it in a vlog, and I asked if anyone would like to see a review of it, and a couple of you did, so I thought, what the heck not, let's get into it. So I've been using it quite a bit. You can see, since I picked it up, I've been using it anytime that I've worn makeup. CoverGirl isn't normally a brand that I really gravitate toward, but this year I found myself trying out a few more of their products than I normally would. Like earlier in the year, I did a review on the Healthy Revitalist Concealer, and my socks weren't really blown off by it or anything. It was fine, but I found it to be a very light coverage concealer, and I didn't repurchase it once I was done with it. But what made me really intrigued about this foundation is that I saw on a commercial in front of a YouTube video actually that it comes in 40 shades. So it sounds to me like CoverGirl has been quietly sitting around listening, watching, seeing what people want, and there were a bunch of times this year when shade range was a big deal, with Tarte with their
what was that Tarte concealer called that then turned into a foundation? Shape Tape.
Tarte with their Shape Tape foundation. I know there wasn't many shades of that. And then I think Beauty Blender put out a line of foundation, and the shades were just awful. From what I can remember from seeing reviews, they had like so many light colors, and each light color was just a smidge different than the one before it, and then the dark colors really left something to be desired. So I think CoverGirl, and another brand too I remember recently, another drugstore brand recently came out with a huge shade range. I think maybe it was Wet n Wild, and people were just so impressed. So I think CoverGirl kind of took notes and was like, let's put out something, and let's put out a shade for pretty much everyone. I mean, are you ever gonna get everyone? Probably not, but I mean 40 shades, that's pretty impressive. So when I saw that, I was like, you know what, CoverGirl, I hear you, I see what you're doing, let's give it a try. So I am in the shade L40, and I am quite liking this so far. Up until this year, I really wasn't much of a foundation lover. I'd usually use a BB cream or a tinted moisturizer, but this year I've been trying to find that sort of perfect foundation. And my friend here, Kim, I know you're in the same boat, so maybe this will be helpful to you. One that I've spoken about before on this channel that's kind of become my go-to, aside from right now when I'm using this, is the Fenty Beauty foundation. It's a matte foundation, and I love it. I think it goes on beautifully. And this is also a matte foundation. Now, I will say I tend to sometimes have dry skin. I would say I go from normal to dry. And I know sometimes people with dry skin don't love matte foundations, but I do. I love the look of them more than anything. So no matter what, I would choose it over a dewy foundation. I don't like dewy or glowy foundations. I've said this before, I like to be in control of the glow and where it goes, and I don't want it everywhere, because for me, on my skin, it just tends to make me look like a sweaty mess. And that's very rarely the look I'm going for, if you know what I mean. So what I've done is I've recorded a few clips of me wearing it throughout the day the other day, so you can kind of see. I put it on early in the morning, I did an afternoon check-in, and then I did an evening check-in, and it's also what I'm wearing right now, and I think it looks pretty good, at least in my opinion. And so we'll take a look at the check-ins now in a minute. But first, I thought I would show you the primer that I'm using now and was using then, as well as the powder that I'm using on top of it. Just so you know, I didn't just use it on just my bare skin as it was. I did use a primer. Does that make a big difference? I honestly don't know, but I use it anyway. So here, let's talk about those items. The primer that I used and have been using for quite a while now, and I absolutely love it, is from Smashbox, and it is their Photo Finish Primer Water. I love this. I love anything I can spray on my face, honestly. And this just feels good. It feels nice and refreshing, and I love it. The powder that I've been using for a while now, and am using now and in these check-in clips, is the Maybelline Fit Me. I actually really love the entire Fit Me line, and the powder's no exception. I love the concealer. It's a good line, I think. So let's get right into the clips. Hi guys, so it's first thing in the morning. I just put my foundation on. This is what it looks like when it's freshly put on. I think it looks good. I think the coverage is good. So we'll see now how it lasts throughout the day. I'll do a couple of check-ins here and there, and we can see what we think. Alright, hi guys, it is afternoon now. It's probably 1 or 2 p.m. And it's still looking pretty good. I can see it settling kind of into some fine lines, but I mean, so many foundations do that. So far though, it's not looking too bad. It's allergy season here, so I've been blowing my nose. Real talk, hashtag real talk. Blowing my nose, my eyes have been watering, so I mean, it's been through a bit and it still looks pretty good. So we'll see now after a few more hours in the evening. Hi guys, it's evening now. It's about 6 o'clock in the evening, and I'm just getting ready to take my makeup off pretty soon. It still looks decent. You can see some redness coming through, I think, at this point, but I mean, not awful. I put it on around 8 a.m. so we're 10 hours in and it's not too bad. So yeah, I'm impressed. So there you go. As you saw, it wore pretty well. It looked great in the morning, and even by evening time, though there was a bit of redness coming through, I thought it still looked pretty darn good considering it had been like 10 hours. And like I said too, I'm smack dab in the middle of allergy season, so there's a lot going on. So that it stayed on well, wore well, still looked good. By afternoon, it still looked great, I thought. Pretty much the same as it did when I first put it on. So I'm gonna happily be finishing up this bottle and possibly repurchasing it. Because as much as I love the Fenty Beauty one, I love that this is so much cheaper, honestly, because when you can save some money, that's great. So I'll still be using the Fenty, of course. I bought it for myself for my birthday, and maybe I'll get another bottle for Christmas or something, but I love that there's an affordable option, and to me, this was pretty comparable, at least for me and my skin. Of course, I can only speak to my own skin, as you know, but yeah, for me, I love it. And yeah, affordable, good shade range, lasts well all day. What more could you ask for, honestly? So 2 thumbs up, would recommend. If you've tried this foundation, I'd love to know your thoughts down below, especially even if you hated it. I'd love to know why you didn't like it. Like I said, I tend to go dry, especially in the winter time, which is coming up here. It's kind of already here because here in Alberta we've already had quite a bit of snow, but yeah, loved it. And before I go, I just wanted to mention a couple other products that I've really been loving these past couple of days, and I didn't want to wait until an October's favorites videos to share it with you. The first one is actually also from CoverGirl. It's funny because, like I said at the beginning, CoverGirl's not really a brand I go for often, but this is now 2 products from them that I've really been loving. And this, I think, is so fun, and I think it would be great for the holidays coming up. And this is the CoverGirl Melting Pout Glitz Liquid Glitter Top Coat. I have it on over a sort of mauve lipstick right now, and I just have a little tiny bit on there. So the great thing is you can build it up. You can put a little tiny bit in the middle, rub it around, or you can put a ton on. And I think it looks so pretty. I don't know how much it's kind of picking up in the camera, but under sort of dimmer lights, it's just gorgeous. So if you're at, say, a Christmas party or something like that, or even a Halloween party, it'd be perfect. So again, affordable, and I think it's really pretty. And then the final item I wanted to talk about is actually a palette from Maybelline. This is kind of just a drugstore video now at this point, but this is the Burgundy Bar palette from Maybelline. My friend here on YouTube, Alice, her channel name is Red's Makeup Bag, but I've seen a few of her videos where she mentions this palette. And she loved it so much that eventually I was so intrigued I had to go and pick it up myself. I had tried one of these palettes from Maybelline before, and I didn't love it. I think it was the jewel toned ones, and it just, you know, with so many amazing palettes these days, it just wasn't doing it for me. But the color story in this palette is just so beautiful, and it's so perfect for fall. It's got some mattes, and then it's got some really beautiful glitters. Let me just show ya. Like, really beautiful. Nice and pigmented too. And so, like I said, she just loved it, and she talked about it a bunch of times, and I had to go and pick it up, and it really is lovely. The colors are good. They're fairly pigmented, some more than others. But I think the colors are so beautiful, and they blend pretty well. Would you need colors from other palettes to make a full look? Maybe. But if you want a nice, soft, everyday look, this can definitely do that. You know, if you want a bit of extra drama, you might have to add. Like whenever I use it, I usually add a bit of glitter or just a more intensely foiled shadow on the lid or something like that. But if it's daytime and I just want a nice, soft, really pretty, really blendable look, I love this. So thanks for that recommendation, Alice. Anyway, you guys, that's going to do it for me for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope you found the review at least somewhat helpful. And yeah, I'd love to hear your thoughts on the foundation down below. So until Friday, when we do a spooky book talk video, I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you then. Bye.